Hello everybody, it's 11:11 a.m. in London town. Where are you and what time is it? Do tell me. So today we are getting a rather lovely link between Mercury, the planet of the mind, and Chiron. Hi everybody who's saying hello. And so I thought I would just talk about that really briefly. I'm just going to say hi on Facebook because then I can see your comments. Hi Carol. Hi Hiking in Wales. Hello the Wentworth Collective. Hello Pure Crystal Water. Hello Isabel in Brighton. Good evening Robin. I wonder where you are. Probably in Australia. Morning, evening, 11 p.m. in Melbourne. Hi everybody. So we're going to do a healing meditation today because Mercury is connecting with Chiron. Now, Mercury is the planet of the mind, and Chiron is the planetoid of healing. Now, yesterday I mentioned Chiron, and someone asked me, why is it we only ever hear about Chiron, really, instead of all the other planetoids and asteroids like Ceres and Vesta and all those? So, there's a couple of answers there. One thing is more and more astrologers do use asteroids. I actually don't. Why don't I? Because I think that unless an asteroid has a particular meaning for me, I'm not really that bothered about using it. I have some astrologer friends who I've seen the charts that they draw up, and literally you just get like every single, if you put down every asteroid that's up there, you cannot see the chart. And I kind of don't really see the point of that. I'm not criticizing anyone who wants to do that. That's fine. It just doesn't work for me. But there are some asteroids that I would feasibly use, even though I actually probably don't, but maybe I've checked them in my chart, or I've checked them in other people's charts sometimes. One thing that springs to mind is a funny little story about when I was learning about asteroids, and it was actually partly to do with the birth of my son, and looking at the planetoid Apollo. So he's like 2 weeks old in my arms, and I'm thinking, he's the perfect man. Where's Apollo in his chart? Because there's an asteroid Apollo, and Apollo, I believe, was known as the perfect man. Anyway, he has obviously got his Apollo somewhere extremely meaningful because he's my son. And of course, I think he's the perfect man, along with my beautiful husband whose birthday it is today. But then I thought, okay, so, if he's the perfect man, if Apollo represents the perfect man in the chart, what about Brad Pitt, who, in my opinion, prior to meeting my husband and my son, I thought he was kind of pretty close to the perfect man. And he has Apollo really, really strong in his chart. I can't remember where it is now, but it might be something like conjunct his sun or conjunct his Venus or something, like just something really strong for Apollo. Anyway, I'm digressing. But no, I don't. That's sort of how I use the asteroids. But someone's saying, why does everyone always use Chiron? And I think the reason why I use Chiron is not because I'm especially attached to it, although I do find it a very interesting planetoid because it's the planetoid of healing. And also, when we first started working with Chiron, everyone used to call it the wounded healer. And they used to talk about the wound that will not heal, which people do less and less now. People sort of say it's, where you need healing. Or you could think of Chiron, I think, maybe as the crack where the light gets in. So it is interesting. But more than that, it is interesting to see in the chart. But more than that, I think we use Chiron, or I use Chiron more than any of the other, planets. Even when I'm writing my horoscopes, I will use Chiron to look at where there's healing and wounding. But I think the other reason for that is very practical and logical. And it's simply that we've tested it, like Chiron, for whatever reason, went into the mainstream of astrology quite quickly after it was discovered, and I think it was discovered in the 1970s. And I'm pretty sure, well, I know this is true, actually, this is a fact for certain. When they discovered it, there was an astronomer who apparently somewhat cynically said, oh, we better write down the time for the astrologers because they're going to ask us. So he wrote the time down. So we actually have an exact moment of discovery for Chiron. And, you know, the 70s was now, what, 50 years ago, something like that, a long time ago. And we've had 50 years of testing Chiron in the mainstream. And, you know, Melanie Reinhardt, if you're interested in Chiron, check out her work. She did some of the best work about Chiron, or has done some of the best work about Chiron. And so we've tested it and we know what it means. So, you know, again, like with Vesta, I might know what Vesta represents, but I haven't tested Vesta around my chart. I haven't really tested Vesta in anything. Whereas Chiron, I know what Chiron is my chart. I've experienced a Chironic transit. And, you know, the whole world of astrology has tested Chiron. And that's why I think we use Chiron more than the other planets, simply because we've tested it. And once you've tested something, you know, a lot, then you get really confident about its meaning, if that's what you like, or its influence. So today, Mercury, the planet of the mind, is aspecting Chiron, the planetoid of healing, okay? Now, because we've had such an up and down time of the past few weeks of being in quarantine or lockdown or isolation or whatever you want to call it, I think this is the Mercury Chiron aspect we need. So, and by the way, please do share this video with anyone you know who needs healing. We're actually going to do a healing meditation. I'm going to do a healing meditation, and then I'm going to take a card. Excuse me. And remember, we are now well on track for the new moon, okay? So it's time to start thinking about that as well. And, you know, the more healing work we do now, the better we'll be at new moon. And at new moon, it's going to be manifesting time. So, you know, it's all holistic. It all feeds in. You know, it's very tempting to think, oh, I'll just make my new moon wishes every month. But you kind of need to stay plugged into the grid to really make the most of it. You know, I was taught that by lots of people, but the person who's springing to mind right now is Deepak Chopra. And, you know, he's done a lot of work. I once had 3 hours one-on-one with him, which changed my life. And, you know, someone like him, he's a really good example of someone who actually walks his talk, you know. He doesn't just get on there and talk about, you know, meditating and then go out and get drunk or something. You know, maybe he has a few wines every now and then. I'm not criticizing a few wines, but do you know what I mean? He doesn't have these black and white sides to him of not really living his talk, walking his talk. Now I feel like I'm judging people who go out and get drunk. No judgment. It was just the example that sprang to mind. He doesn't, I mean, anyway, I might not even go there, but you know what I mean? It's really important if you want to manifest, and what's one of the big things we do here in this community is we work on and getting in touch with our innate power to create our reality, okay? What's going on right now in the world is also everybody creating their reality. We are all creating everything that's going on right now. And, you know, in some ways, it's a mass hallucination. Not that it's not happening, but we're all plugged into this matrix of fear, or trying not to be. And it goes with the astrology. I'm kind of free-wheeling a bit today and going all over the place. But this year is marked by a whole lot of Jupiter-Neptune links. And obviously, I'm not saying that people aren't dying, you know. But speaking of Deepak Chopra, I did once speak to him about the Holocaust. You know, about if we create our own reality, why did we create the Holocaust? That's a really common question that people come to very quickly when they start to learn about creating your own reality. And you could say the same thing. Why have we created COVID-19? Well, my teacher in India has an answer to why have we created COVID-19. And I'm going to share it. I hope that's okay. It's on the internet. It's public knowledge. My teacher in India says, you know, there are all these politicians out there in the world who say, you know, I am the best, I know the most, ask me anything, I know everything about this, ask me what you want to know, I'll tell you. With all the technology and all the money and all the power, you know, the authority of all the world, these many politicians behave like this, and yet have been decimated by this tiny virus that's even too small to see. So it's a lesson. Make of that what you will, but that's what my teacher in India said. So anyway, which is all a roundabout way to say we are going to do a love and healing meditation, and I'm actually going to take a card, and I'm going to see who comes up, which angel, goddess, or ascended master comes up for our healing meditation. Are you with me? Decimated, yes, exactly. Here we go. That one's got the energy. Ah, wow. Goodness. So we have got the Ascended Master Merlin. I mean, that's unexpected. Merlin come for our meditation today with the crystal mystic Merlinite. So once again, I'm going to call on the crystal experts out there. Who knows anything about Merlinite? You love Merlin, do you, Monique? Oh, someone's saying they like my top. Yes, I thought I better wear something different. I'm actually one of those people who just buys 5 pairs of anything I like. So I've got 5 jumpers exactly the same just because I like them, and 5 dresses, and I don't worry too much about what I wear usually. It's not my number one concern. All right, not judging. I love fashion. I have even been known to buy a Vogue magazine. I just like wearing black. I think it's because I'm an ex-witch or a witch, or I was a witch in a past life or something, who knows. All right, so here we go. All right, has anyone given us anything about Merlinite? Anyone want to Google Merlinite for me? Merlin the Magician, says Rochelle. Yes, powerful magic. Yes, that's true. Also, interestingly enough, the card says read the energy. And I think that's also a message to me to read the energy of the group. So tell me what you think. I live near Glastonbury, says Mercedes. Merlin is coming to visit. Hop Lightly says, so funny today. I'm glad. All right, here we go. This is from Merlin and Mystic Merlinite. Does anybody know Merlin is a wizard? Yes, that's about all I know. Sleep with a piece under your pillow, a piece of Merlinite. Can someone tell me what Merlinite actually means? Oh, here we go. Thanks, Elaine. Merlinite is a stone that attracts powerful magic and good luck into your life, and is known to stimulate deep intuition, psychic knowing, and spiritual mediumship. Right. Merlinite from Sydney. Merlinite is a stone for intuition and deep psychic knowing and spiritual mediumship. He shows up as a magician in some tarot decks. Don't Google, use Ecosia. Yes, I do sometimes use Ecosia. Did a guidance card today and got the magician. Oh, there you go, Anna. The ability to relive the veil, or remove the veil. Gosh, it's also interesting, isn't it? We all learn something here. So let me just read you from the book, which is Alana Fairchild's Crystal Mandala Oracle. We bring you the blessing of reading the energy. We affirm that you have the ability to read energy accurately, and we encourage you to apply your gifts. Okay, this is for all of us, remember. You don't have to be in control of the inflow of divine information. When a message or insight comes to you naturally, that is best. Simply being open and receptive as you intend to read the energy of the person, place, or situation on hand is enough. Whether you've been reading energetically for years or just beginning your journey in interpreting energetic information, we are here to assist you in becoming confident and in trusting your perceptive abilities. Right, interesting. So there you go. So let's let's just sit with that. I think, that's partly a message for me, because I think I'm going to finish this live in about 5 minutes and think, what was I talking about? I'm talking about Chiron and Melanie Reinhardt and Jupiter and whatever, like just crazy stuff, Jupiter and Neptune and Deepak Chopra, but maybe that's a message to me that it's okay to ramble today, or always, who knows. But anyway, let's close our eyes. And what I want to do is ask you just to breathe gently and just listen to your breath. And I'm going to do a healing meditation that uses the power of love to heal. I'm just going to start with 3-line chant. Om Namo Narayani. Om Namo Narayani. Om Namo Narayani. And we call in Merlin to help us make some magic and to show us how magical we are as we use the power of the magic of love to heal. Please say silently or out loud, or even in the comments, I am magical. I am magical. I am magical. And I want you to imagine you have a magical wand in your hand that's powered and charged by Merlin, with a beautiful bright white light on the end of it. And I want you to flick that ball of white light towards your heart chakra, just here, and let it expand inside of you. And to make it expand, I want you to think of someone or something that you love with all your heart and you are so grateful for. Or more than one person, as many people as you like, if you're blessed with lots of people in your heart that you love, and think of them. And now I want you to see that ball of light extending out beyond your body, out into the room where you are, or the garden if you're outside, wherever you are. And let it go further out till it's as big as a house and as big as your neighborhood and as big as your city, and it's starting to connect with other people's white lights. And as big as your country, and it's starting to connect with more people's white lights, the energy of love, the white light, the magic of love and healing, going around the world until it connects. And all of us on this call now or watching later are connecting the love, the magical love in our hearts all around the planet. And I can feel myself energetically holding hands hold hands energetically around the world with the bright white lights, the love in our hearts going out to meet each other around the world. Light workers of the world uniting. And now again repeat silently or out loud, we, the light workers of the world, are magical. We are bringing love, healing, and white light to the planet. And just feel the energy. Put your hands together in prayer position and thank everybody who took part in that. Thank you. Send your love out. So there we go. So there we go. That's it for another day. I'm going to see you back here. Same time tomorrow. And remember, have a beautiful day.